to the court, be ready, we ballin' out, yeah. The coldest of teens, they know what we bring, don't try us. Ain't no in between, we go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We been shooting in the gym, this is target in practice, yeah. And I'm just getting started, getting feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, all black dress code. Pay me my respect, collecting every debt. Oh, the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard.
Greetings from Portugal once again. Greetings from the Autódromo Internacional Algarve. We are in Portimão for the last race of the weekend in this roller coaster of a circuit. We have mentioned this a few times this weekend, but of course it always is important to mention because this is one of the most exciting circuits that we visit in the season because we love them all, but we especially love those that have these ups and downs and that give us some very good track action. And this has delivered so far this weekend. We have seen 3 fantastic races in Eurocup 3 Spanish Championship. We have seen 2 fantastic races in the E4 Spanish Winter Championship. And of course, after yesterday's action, it is time to turn to Sunday for the younger drivers on the grid, for the younger category, for the E4 class, which will be in just a few minutes going out of track to start going to the grid, forming that dummy grid, followed by the usual formation lap, and of course into the last race of the weekend. And we have a few things to mention, to comment, because for those that maybe haven't been following necessarily the latest news of the championship, we have some changes after yesterday's race for several penalties that have been given to some of the drivers. And so the podium for the sprint race is completely different from what we saw yesterday. The only driver, of course, that we keep in the same position is Thomas Strauben, who took the win in the sprint race, and he does keep his first position. But we have penalties for Yanni Stephen Haydens, for Christopher Elfegali, and for Miguel Costa, who finished the race in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, respectively. So that means they fall outside of the points positions. And so we have 2 new podium finishing drivers. Of course, will not have the chance to go out on the podium, but they will take the points. That is Vivek Kantan, who inherits that 2nd place, and Noah Monteiro, who, well, not on the podium, not on the celebration before the fans, but he will have that first top 3 of his career in A4 Championship here at home. This is, well, one of those things that can happen in these championships, because, of course, it is important to make sure that all the drivers do follow the rules. For those interested in the reasons for those penalties, in the case of Yanni Steven Haydens, that is a plus 5 seconds for gaining advantage outside of the track limits. And in the case of El Fegali and Costa, it is a plus 5 seconds for causing a collision. So, of course, we saw a few collisions yesterday. It was a pretty animated race. And, of course, the race direction had a few things to think. There were more penalties across the board, some of them affecting the race grid, which we will have time to review before the start of the race. But in any case, what we have is a new race leader, a new championship leader in the championship with Thomas Strauben, thanks to his 2 wins in Saturday. He will be looking for that full house because he is starting from pole position after being the quickest this morning in qualifying 2. And so for the second feature race of the weekend, he has all he needs to have a good chance to aim for that victory. He will have behind him Vivek Kantan, Jan Pridowski in second and third place respectively, Christopher Fegali 4th place, Ian Eggmans in 5th place, followed by Spina, Fiorentino, Monteiro, Lammers and Frankot rounding up the top 10 with Costa, Schwarz, Tai, Petrovic, Steven Haydens, Van Pat Bosch, Tuñón, Jacobi, Campos and Bastarrica in the top 20, followed by Panetta, Monarca, Schaufler, Trapa, Riva, Dobrzanski, Felbermayr, Novels, Block, Lee, Suslov, the Carras siblings, Bogunovic, Anagnostiadix and Garduño closing the grid in 36th place. We are watching, this is number 48 by Gino Trapa, the Argentinian driver, who is starting from 24th place on the grid. And these are some of the used tires that are always as reserve for these drivers, who will, of course, some of them be using new tires, some of them will be using some lightly scrubbed tires. And in fact, we might see some drivers, especially those who are using new tires, completing potentially 2 installation laps to get that first layer scrubbed off the new tires. It is always a good thing to do. And meanwhile, we go down to the grid with Miguel Portillo, who is bringing us the latest information. Miguel, I see that you're still wearing that jacket. It looks very, very good on you. So I have to say the black looks good on you. So good job on that. How are you seeing things down there?
But I took my sweater off, just only the jacket and the shirt because it's getting warmer, as I told you. Hello, good morning again, everybody. Hello, Alex. Here we are, waiting for the cars to roll into the grid. It's a second lap, going through the pit lane, waiting for Dennis Strauben. He's going to be in the pole position. Let's see if he can make it and win also the third race in a row. Will be unbelievable and incredible. Let's see if we saw in Eurocup 3, they set the pace and the guys who are in the front row just leave the grid behind and do their own race. Let's see, because I want to see the battle, and so how Noah Porteiro, who yesterday jumped into the podium because of the penalties, if he can do a really good race on Sunday, and we can see him coming from the 10th position. That's the grid he's going to start for the Sunday race.
Thank you, Miguel Portillo, for that quick update. I also have another question for you, and I'll give you homework, let's say. I'll give you homework. It would be very nice to see which of those drivers in the first positions are opting for those new tires, and which drivers are going to have older tires. We know that, of course, with how the races developed yesterday, we had a very short race in race 1 because we had a lot of safety cars, so we had less use of tires. So maybe some of these guys have some new tires left that could give them a small advantage today.
Let's see. I also want to see. I think they are going to wear the new set because they are going to push, they are going to attack, they're going to fight during the whole race because with the sun, with the temperature, is perfect for the motorsport condition. I think it's a race to attack, and we are waiting for them to come. Also the Portimão, who will be here in a very few moments, and also the guys who is going to start close to him, Vivek, who is doing absolutely great during the starting of the season. And let's see how it's going with the two drivers of Campos. Let's see the Portimão Straven. He's doing absolutely great, but.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, Miguel, that you have someone that you can talk to here on the grid, and he's related to this Campos team.
He's the team manager of Campos Racing, Andreu Romera, because they got like an impressive lineup. Andreu, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What a lineup do you have? The two guys in the front row, also the guys who are coming from behind. Such a really good lineup for this Spanish Winter Championship.
Yeah, well, we know that having 2 guys already in his second year on doing 2 years F4 was going to be for sure at the beginning a crucial point to really, keep both being front runners. But also our rookies are performing in a really high level. I think the team has done a good effort by preparing the car, and especially on the driver's preparation, and having also Cantan, for example, which is just on his second weekend ever in a single seater in P2 and fighting for poles is just amazing, no? I think the average level of the team is too high, which made me really happy, of course.
For sure, and Straven is doing such a really good weekend. He can do the full house, winning the 3 races in a row. Is he going to attack? New tire for him? Straven is doing really great.
Yeah, well, he's doing really, really well, especially considered that in the sprint race he was starting P8 since he did the pole in the first qualifying. Of course, his target is trying to make the perfect weekend, as he has been also scoring both pole positions and also the fastest laps. Let's see. I mean, at least we try to say them that, when teammate it's close to them, they have to be even more respectful with the driver, no?
That's why you're in the wall, take it easy.
Yeah, I don't care at all, but having the opportunity of being again P1, P2 and P3, I don't want to miss the chance of having a completely Campos podium.
You are doing such a great work as a team, and also with Noah coming from the back. Yesterday he got the podium.
Yeah, exact. I mean, what is super interesting of this championship and what the promoters are doing really well is that I think having a sprint race with a reverse grid base is allowing us to have challenge and show enough to overtake. Portimão is always fantastic in terms of show. Scary for the parents, scary for the teams and for the mechanic especially, because they don't want to see any crash. But it's always bringing good challenge, and I think we have seen good overtakes, good defending. As you say, opportunities of getting in front, and let's try to finish the weekend in the best way possible.
Andreu, let's enjoy the weekend. Thank you very much. Campos, always a reference. Thank you.
Thank you, Porti. Thank you, Frank.
Let's enjoy the race because Straven is ready to go. For so, let's try to get the maximum of the tires. It's a new set for him. And also the guys who are coming back, and Andreu saying, let's go, Straven, let's go racing. I mean, the grid is super excited. Also the guy in the pole position, the guy who's racing for the Red Bull with El Fagali, the guy who's impressing, the guy from Lebanon. So, Alex, let's go racing.
Thank you very much, Miguel Portillo, bringing us the latest information, and what an interesting few comments that Andreu had to give us about the team, about Campos, of course, and about how it is important for these drivers to make the most of these opportunities that they are given, but especially about how, as a team, even if you have to respect those wishes from your drivers who want to win the race, they say, well, if it's a teammate, you have to be even more respectful. And that is, of course, absolutely true for these drivers, who, of course, will have to contend with each other in this race. Remember, we have 3 Campos drivers in the first few positions. We have Thomas Strauben with the Griffin Core by Campos car, ahead of Vivek Cantan with the Campos Racing, and Jan Przewalski from 3rd in the other Griffin Core by Campos. There could be a possibility to have that top 3 by the Spanish team, but it will be up to these drivers to defend those positions. The rivals from behind will not make things easy, because we have Christopher El Fegali from 4th place, driving for Drivex. We have also Ian Eggmans from KCL MP Motorsport. We have, of course, that first car from TC Racing, the number 78 car driven by Alfio Spina, the Italian driver, who would be aiming for a very good result for TC Racing. That would be also very good news to have another team dicing it up at the top. And so as we watch the personnel from the grid leaving that space, we have the formation lap underway. And as we were mentioning, we will see the cars making sure that the right temperatures are on the tires to tackle those first few corners. And tires are going to be crucial on this last race of the weekend because, of course, as Miguel Portillo mentioned from the grid, the guys at the front are using those new sets of tires. Of course, it's always useful to keep one extra set of new tires for the last race of the weekend, if you can have it. And these guys could have it, especially helped by that shorter race yesterday on the sprint race, which would on the feature race, sorry, on what would normally be a 30-minute plus 1 lap race. And we did not have many green flag condition laps, so green flag racing conditions were mostly absent from race 1, and that meant there was a lot less tire wear over the course of Saturday than these teams and drivers would have expected. So if anyone was able to save a set of tires from yesterday, they might have had it today. And that is what these teams are going for, and what may make the difference. The Rodin Motorsport guys, now part of the action. After having been watching, we knew that they were watching during the Eurocup 3 race. Now they will be fighting as well. And they'll be focused on their main driver, Nathan Tai, starting from 13th place on the grid. We know that he's a driver that he can recover quickly. 13th might be a little bit far to think of a window. And as always, we also saw the usual side of the mechanics finding the best vantage point from which to watch the start. Well, I'll tell you what, I think those who are at home also have very good vantage points to watch exactly what is going to go on in this last race start of the weekend in Portugal. The long grid is making their way back to the main straight, and soon we will have a race underway. We are eager for that start to happen, and we know that one of the main stories will be the one written by these drivers at the front. The Campos Racing and Griffincourt by Campos drivers, whom we know have clear orders to have a little extra respect for each other. As well they should. But I think when the lights are out, there are very few excuses, and all want to win in here. So we're watching the last few cars making it back to the positions on the grid, and that means it is almost time for the race start. We're watching, this is of course number 16 by Garduño, the Mexican driver by driving for Santelok. And as we have the green flag at the back of the grid, the lights will progressively go on, and once the lights are out, the race is underway, and we have a good start by the Campos drivers, and especially by Thomas Strauben, who doesn't want to give any opportunity to any rival. And careful with El Fegali, who has had a good launch as well, but needs to run a little bit wide to keep that second place, which he does momentarily before going even wider on that turn 3, and that sets him back to third position. We have Strauben on top ahead of Prizowski, with El Fegali in third place, and that has been a cleaner start by these guys than maybe we were expecting. Definitely cleaner than the last 2 days, last 2 races. And we have a car with some issues there. That's one of the Monlau machines that struggled to stop the car with a damaged front wing. Fortunately though, drivers have been, again, very clean on this first lap of the second feature race. And we are watching those fights starting to go off already. This is Ian Eggmans defending as well from Spina. And Spina is all over the back of the KCL MP Motorsport machine. There are also fights behind. And as we like to say, in this E4 class, there are always fights all over the place, no matter the position where you are. Some few drivers side by side here entering into the main straight for the first time. And Thomas Strauben is leading the race with a 1 second, almost 1 second advantage over Jan Przodowski. That might be very important for his race if he manages to escape. And we have an attack there, suffered by Spina, perpetrated by René Lammers. And that was almost done with a chirurgeon's precision. That was impressive by Lammers, another of the famous surnames in this E4 Spanish Winter Championship. And Strauben losing a little bit of that advantage that he had at the top. Jan Przodowski having a very, very good first sector. The Polish driver knows he needs to keep the pressure strong on his teammate if he wants to aim for that win. And Lammers defending the inside line. He's being pushed by Spina behind him. The Italian driver defending the honor of TC Racing. He wants a good result, and he has what he needs to get it. So far, he is going on the inside on that offensive at the hairpin, but that hasn't been enough to keep that position. And as easy as you make an attack, you are also under attack. And this is Nathan Tye. We were saying that he is good at starts, he is good at recovering. He was starting from P13, and he is up to 8th place. That was amazing once again by Nathan Tye, who is always one of the guys to watch on these races. Thomas Strauben, who had a almost 1 second advantage at the beginning of last lap, is down to 6 tenths. Przodowski is giving everything he has. And this is the Monlau car that we were seeing with some of the issues. That's Monarca. Number 25, Fran Monarca, the Argentine. That wing has long been gone, so it is time to change the nose cone and go back on track. It is always difficult to get those out. It's not the luckiest start for Monarca, who is will be back on track, and I wonder where exactly that front wing is left, because depending on the place, it might be a little bit dangerous. Another car with some issues, that is one of the Rodin Motorsports. That's Kyu-Ho Lee, the Korean driver, back on track as well. And so we will have all our drivers back on track again. And now we're watching back on the two drivers dueling for the race win. That is Thomas Strauben, of course, still leading the race, and Jan Przodowski in that second position. Strauben, who is aiming to get that perfect weekend. Remember, he took both pole positions, both fastest laps so far, and both race wins so far. So he's only one win and one fastest lap away from having that perfect weekend with everything he could take from it. And for drivers, when you can have this kind of weekend, you always want it, because you carry with you that momentum into the next race weekend. You carry with you that confidence, that momentum with you. You get that extra bit of bravery next time you're on track. So I think the number 99, the Belgian driver, will be very much looking forward to at the very least taking the win. Behind them, Fegali in third position, almost 2 seconds away. But he is being very, very solid, the Lebanese driver, so far in this Spanish Winter Championship. Of course, one has to keep in mind that there was this first weekend of the year in Jerez, and he was already quite competitive there. Not as lucky as he could have been, but he already took that third place in the first race of the season. So Christopher Fegali will for sure be one of the names to keep an eye on for the rest of the Spanish Winter Championship, and most likely for the regular season as well. And we're watching Jan Przewalski getting very, very close to Thomas Strauben, down to less than half a second between the two of them. And so this is now 99 versus 23. Very close distance between the two Griffin Corbike Campos drivers. And this is, of course, the kind of situation that makes a team nervous. They will not want to think too much. They will not want to watch too much, because if they do, they'll be getting, as we said, quite nervous. We're watching the replay of the start, where Thomas Strauben was miles better than anyone else, kept that first position, and where Fegali was side by side with Przewalski. And for a moment, it almost looked like the Red Bull junior team driver was almost going to keep that position, but he had to settle for third. And a tricky and tense moment that we saw there between Jean-Paul Carras and Lorenzo Campos at the back of the grid. They were fighting for position, as they are also fighting for position, these two teammates. They are being definitely much, much faster than anybody else on track. And if you want a reference, well, they are clocking their times approximately half a second faster now than the drivers behind. So a good pace by these two drivers, who are, of course, using that to their advantage. Because as much as we say Jan Przewalski is pushing to catch Thomas Strauben, we know that most likely he is also thinking of that race strategy to not bother each other, to escape from the rivals. Because if Campos wants a full Campos podium, that also means that these two have to be far away from the rivals. And they have done so far. So it all falls to Vivek Kantan on his second race weekend in single-seaters, as Andreu Romero was reminding us on the grid. A team manager from Campos Racing. Very, very proud of his drivers. And he has good reason to do so, because he is watching, as we are, three of their drivers in the top four. Two of them in this first and second place. Strauben and Przewalski keeping the same order that they had from the start of the race. And behind, we can see how drivers are pushing on this downhill on the second sector of the very, very exciting Algarve circuit in Portimão. A circuit that, of course, has been run in Formula 1 in recent years. It has also been run in endurance racing, and a track which is often used by many World Endurance Championship teams to prepare to do endurance testing. We know that it is common for some teams to run as much as 36 hours programs here, non-stop. So for these drivers, it is always useful to know the Algarve circuit as well as possible, because you never know when you might find yourself in a team that is testing here. So if you know the track, half of the work is done. But for now, it is not so much the task of learning the track. The task at hand is fighting for the win. And we have Jan Przewalski once again doing that rubber band, sometimes letting a little bit of space to the race leader, sometimes cutting down that difference. In this case, to under 0.4 of a second. And he is going to push for it. Now, just how much he can do, that is what we want to find out. As we're going to watch that replay, let's see what this is all about. A rather tense moment there between Gino Trappa and Miguel Costa, fighting for that 13th position that is just outside of the points. And Jan Przewalski keeping his pressure on his teammate and race leader. And this is the, of course, tension on the pit wall. Oh, to be a fly on the wall. We would love to hear what the race engineers are telling to each of these drivers, because Jan Przewalski is pushing hard. He's getting very, very close to Thomas Strauben. And we know that he is not going to let this one run away. And if we go by what we're seeing on track, the fight is only starting. We have more than half a race ahead of us. And so, this is one of the stories to watch. The other will be, of course, the fight for the podium. So far, it involves Fegali and Cantan. But it could potentially have some more guests if Aikmans and Lammers have a good second half of the race. We know tire management is an issue, is a thing, is a challenge, and those who manage to do it better might have a good last part of the race. And in this case, these two drivers by Griffin Core by Campos, they are the more experienced drivers with the normal number plate, let's say, so no red number plate for them, no rookie status for Strauben or Przewalski. So they are making good use of that experience to stay ahead, and they are definitely staying ahead. More than 4 seconds between them and Fegali in third. And this is allowing them to mark each other quite closely, as they are soon coming to lap the last driver on track. That would be Hugh Holly on that Roden Motorsport machine. Will have to give way to these two drivers as they catch him up soon. Differences of approximately 1.5 seconds between the top drivers and those at the back of the grid. And it is not usual for drivers in Formula 4 to be lapping those in the back, so it will also be a good experience for these two drivers, especially considering that they are fighting for the win, and any small difference, any small situation could potentially be important for the race fight. Przewalski signing his best first sector of the race. He is pushing as much as he can. And I think that means that the Polish driver has decided that this is potentially the right moment to try and overtake his rival. Strauben reacts with a very, very good second sector, best of the race so far, as we watch that pit stop by Matus Riba. And is that a puncture tire? I think that is a puncture tire. So, as the tire is new tire is fitted, well, it's time to go back on track. That is definitely unusual. If it is a puncture tire, as I think it is, it might be that Riba had some kind of contact with another car. we're watching also Cantan getting very, very close to Fegali. Well, we know that Cantan might be the key to giving Campos that much wanted full house podium finish. And so far the differences between the first two drivers continue to be as small as it gets. That late braking by Przewalski, as we have more damage on the pit lane. That is the number 55 by Felbermayr, one of the several female drivers in this race, in this case racing for Rodin Motorsport, who will be carrying a new nose cone. There we go, a quick change, as quick as it can be anyway. A quick mount, and off we go. Unlucky situation either way for Felbermayr, whom I am wondering if perhaps she might have had that contact with Riva, considering the timing of those two damaged machines. Back to the top of the race, Straubing still in first position with a fairly small advantage over Przewalski. And we are watching now that damaged nose cone. Straubing pushing hard to try and get away from his teammate, but he is not managing to do so yet. We have a 12-minute plus 1 lap remaining time on the clock. And so that means that there is still over 1/3 of the race ahead of us, where we could watch still things change enough. And it is almost unbelievably different from yesterday, how these drivers were being so aggressive during Saturday. And it's almost as if someone sat them down and said, well, you might want to calm down a little bit, because if you crash too much, you're not going to see the end of the race. And they all have understood. We are having a surprisingly clean Sunday race. Yes, of course, there's always going to be some minor contact. But remember, we haven't seen, and I hope I do not jinx this, we are not seeing a safety car yet today. And just in case any of these drivers has any ideas, I hope that it stays that way. We want to see a green flag to the end of the race, and I think we have that possibility ahead of us. We are also seeing Noah Monteiro entering into the pit lane. There must have been some kind of issue, and of course, just as I say, the race has been clean, but some of the drivers are having some issues. So the Portuguese driver might be having some of those issues. I'm not sure if there has been some contact, or it is a technical issue that forces him to be back into the pit lane. And Vivek Cantan trying that attack on Christopher Fegali, who was going from side to side on the main straight, trying to defend. The classic weaving to defend position. You cannot weave too much though. If you do too much, then that's a penalty. And drivers need to learn this from a very, very young age. And where else to learn but here in the E4 Spanish Winter Championship? Because racing doesn't stop in winter. And this is the previously seen damaged car from Emma Felbermayr. But we were not able to see exactly what happened to her and how she picked up that damaged nose cone, that front wing. But what we are seeing is Vivek Cantan pushing Fegali ahead of him, and Fegali pushing hard also to defend third position. It is important to keep that podium finish, but Cantan is not going to make it easy. The North American driver is giving it his all to try and get past the Lebanese. And Technicar also focusing on his highest place car and all the rest, of course. But I can imagine them being quite focused on Petrovic in that 11th place, trying to get some points again. And with under 9 minutes to go, this might be a chance for Kantan. That magic outside line, which does not necessarily do its magic now. And Fegali keeps the cool, keeps his third place. So we could say it's number 3 for the double 3. As Fegali from Drivex keeps that third place 4 now. But I say 4 now because we are down into the hairpin turn 5 and Kantan has that overtake pretty much prepared and sent, and that is enough to take third place by the Campos Racing driver. That might be enough. Now it will be important for Kantan to show his speed, and if he has the pace, he might be able to run away with this potential podium position. Of course, Fegali will need to show that he has the speed to fight back, and this is what he is trying to do right away. We saw a wheel locked. He's not giving it up yet. If he can keep this very, very short distance, he might have another chance to bite back on the first braking point after the main straight. A little bit of locking from Kantan. He will be under pressure as well. And Fegali is very, very close. He has a good run up. Important to see how he manages this last corner. And he is very close. He might have a chance. Kantan will be weaving to defend that third place. And it is now Fegali's turn to try and use that magic outside line, but he cannot do it. And so he has to do the crisscross. He goes onto the inside. And if he breaks late into turn 3, that might be enough. And it is. Very, very good move by Fegali. That was a textbook maneuver, which is worth getting back into the podium. Now he takes that inside line, defending as hard as he will. And that is very good for Ian Aikmans, who is able to get close to them. And he might be able to attack even Kantan in 4th. Side by them, but that wasn't enough for the KCL MP Motorsport driver. And Kantan is getting impatient. He knows that he is at risk, not just of not being able to challenge for 3rd, but even of losing that 4th position. Excellent job by these 3 drivers who kept it clean, kept it exciting, and kept it on the grey space. Fegali ahead. Well, that was a great defense. At some point, it almost looked like he was going to settle for 4th, but he was able to bite back at Kantan and took back that 3rd place for him. Ian Aikmans pushing back as well. The fight ahead of him allowed him to get into it, and he is now a clear challenger for the podium also. And even though we are not watching the fight at the top, we can tell you that Strauben and Przowski continue to be separated by less than half a second. So things are still very much open, as they are right now. 2 abreast into the first braking point. Kantan trying to push Fegali for that 3rd place. He's not able to complete the overtake, but he forces him into the defense. He goes onto the inside. That is not enough. Ian Aikmans finding the possibility to attack Kantan, almost going around the outside, but I think they will keep that position as they are. And down into turn 5, showing his nose cone on the mirror of Fegali, just to try and get him a little bit nervous. And I am having a deja vu moment, because we are seeing a very similar train to what we saw in Eurocup 3 with James Segozzi, who was defending like a lion from a very, very, very large group. And this is very similar. We are seeing 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th place in pretty much the same group. No, down to 9th. So this is Fegali, Kantan, Aikmans, Lammers, Thijs, Pina, and Franco. This is a very large group, and all of them are potentially candidates to the podium. Yes, it is fair to say that those drivers at the back of the line may have less chances to fight for third, but you never know with these races, and all of them are going to try everything they can. We are seeing a very feisty Lammers trying to get that position from Eggmans, and if he can do that, he might have a go at the podium. And ahead of us, just under 2 tenths between Strauben and Przewalski. That might be a spicy fight that we are missing out on the front as well. We do not have enough ice for everything. Eggmans defending his position. Lammers attacking. Fegali also having to contend with Kantan. And as we say, the smallest of differences between Przewalski and Strauben. That was, of course, what we had at the finish line. And again, 2 drivers side by side, 3 side by side behind. The fights will not cease. And Lammers, who is trying to find that momentum that might allow him to go past Eggmans. He might have it, but he will be on the outside here. And that might not be enough. Kantan also pushing. And Fegali is being as fierce as he always is when he defends. Lammers on the outside, but he might have the best run here. Keep an eye on it, because he has it. I think Lammers has it, and that would be enough to go up to 5th place. And as we were saying, there has been some change ahead, because even though we do not have our eyes peeled on the front, we have had a change of leader. We have a new leader in Jan Przewalski taking 1st place, and hopefully there will be a camera having caught that action, because we want to see exactly how the ever patient Jan Przewalski managed to get past his teammate, waiting almost until the end, waiting almost until the very last lap to get past Thomas Strauben. But this is also very exciting to watch. Lammers and Kantan, both on the offensive. Kantan for P3, Lammers for P5. And of course, Przewalski, who on the last lap managed to take the lead. We want to see them. We want to see the leaders as well. Come on, guys. Kantan also up to P3, as we were saying. That was also a very good overtake by the North American driver. And these are the 2 leaders. That might be enough. We might have 2 more laps as we get to the finish line. But oh, that might be it. That might be it. This is a crash from one of the TC cars. That is number 78 from Alfio Spina. And so I am hoping that this is not a safety car, because if this is a safety car, we won't be able to restart. I am not entirely sure where that car is stranded after the crash, but that might be a little bit risky. And so we have a yellow flag at the very least, that's for sure. As we watch these drivers getting into the penultimate lap, that will be 2 more laps to go. So I think we're going to be lucky today. I think we're going to see the race in green conditions until the end. No safety car. That would be, as long as it is safe, that would be what's best. And Thomas Strauben is pushing hard. He did not enjoy being overtaken by his teammate. He said it clearly. He wanted the full house. He wanted the perfect weekend. He wanted the fastest lap. He wanted the win. Yes, a 2nd place would not be a bad result by any stretch of the imagination. But if he can make it a 3 out of 3, imagine how important that would be for him. Imagine how good that would be for him. Well, he has to imagine it for now, because Jan Przewalski wants to crash his party. The Polish driver defending his 1st place right now with just under half a second advantage. That might be enough, perhaps. We will have a lap ahead of us. And I think Thomas Strauben is just a little bit too far, maybe, to attempt it. He will have to go really hard on those last few kilometers, because the time is ticking, the time is running out. And with it, the number of available overtake spots is going to be diminishing. And so we enter the last lap. Brzezowski weaving in the straight, making sure not to give his rival a tow, because a slipstream would be perfect for Strauben to make his attempt. He's not that far away though. He could be potentially in contention still. Brzezowski has no need for strategy right now. He's only need for one thing: push, and push as hard as you can. And this is also what we like. Yes, we enjoy strategy. We enjoy those drivers that use their heads, but we also enjoy those last few laps when they are exciting, when there is no thinking, only trying their best as a driver, only trying to outdrive each other. And so far it is Jan Brzezowski who is being able to do it. Just half a second ahead of his rival, just a second ahead of his teammate. And they are both 15 seconds away from third place, Vivek Kantan. This has been an absolute driving masterclass by these two. We're miles away from the rest, and we're clearly better than anybody else. Jan Brzezowski, I think he has this, because we are entering the third and last sector of the track, and he is still ahead. And if he doesn't make any mistake, that will be a race win by the Polish driver. He won twice in Jerez, and he will be winning once in Portimão. So if this finishes as it is, both drivers will be reaching the last round in Navarra with 3 wins each. And that is exactly how it is going to be, with Jan Brzezowski, who takes the win and takes that first position with just over half a second advantage to Thomas Strauben, who nevertheless seems to have picked up a penalty, 5-second penalty for Strauben. I think at least this is what the timing is telling us. And so in any case, if that were to be the case, there wouldn't have been a fight for the win. So it is Vivek Kantan finally who takes that third place. So we have a full house of Campos drivers in the podium. So there will be one very happy Andrea Romera with this 1, 2, 3 for Campos, and a last-minute surprise for Nathan Tai, who took 4th place ahead of Franco in 5th, Eijkmans in 6th, Fegali in 7th, Fiorentino, Lammers, and Petrovic rounding up the top 10. And so this is the end of this last race of the weekend, with a Jan Brzezowski who was fantastic. He was smart, he was collected, he was controlling, he didn't need to lead most of the race, he waited until the right moment, he got past his teammate, and I suspect that this might be enough to get back the championship lead. I should need to do my quick math, but it might be enough, because the difference between them was of, no, that might have been not enough yet. If my calculations are correct, there would have been 11 points between Strauben and Brzezowski before this race, so that would mean that Strauben would still be the championship leader ahead of the final round in Navarra in just a few weeks. And once again, remember, next time these drivers, these guys and girls, go on track, they will be doing so without being accompanied by the Euro Cup 3, which will finish in Motorland at the end of March. for now, it is time to watch the drivers who are going to be on the podium go into the Parc Fermé. It is the 1, 2, 3 for Campos, Rizowski, Strauben and Cantan. What a fantastic result for Campos. As Miguel Portillo said before, they are always one of the big references in this series. Thomas Strauben, number 99, second. What a weekend for him. The Belgian driver, he won both races yesterday. He finished second today. He did not have that perfect weekend, but he had a great, fantastic, awesome, incredible weekend. Number 23, Jan Brzezowski, race winner. Takes his third win of the season. And he keeps himself in a good position to fight for the title. And beside them, Vivek Cantan on his second weekend as a single-seater driver. He takes his third podium in 6 races. That is a great, great result. And so he can be very happy with himself because he's been definitely the best rookie we have seen this season. Contained celebrations by Jan Brzezowski. And a hug with, of course, his teammate. What a fantastic moment for Campos. Well, that is exactly what they wanted. Having a little bit of a short debrief with Andrea Romera, team manager from Campos Racing. They did, all of them, a fantastic job. And they will be looking forward to reaching Navarra in a perfect position to aim for the title. These two will have a story to tell, I am completely sure. And I hope that we can hear exactly what Jan Brzezowski will have to say. We will be with him soon enough, with our man on the field. Miguel Portillo always waiting for these drivers to give him their thoughts and opinions and to gather all the information that we always want to know. And here we are with Miguel Portillo, who will be talking to our race winner, Jan Brzezowski, as soon as he is available to do so. And off we go. Miguel Portillo talking to race winner Jan Brzezowski. Let's hear it.
Here comes the winner. Jan, you did it finally. How it was? You overtook in the last moment. How it was?
All the week it's been pretty difficult for me. A lot of bad luck, but this race I just had a quite an okay start. Then managed to catch my teammate and then just look for mistakes of him because it's really difficult to overtake with the Formula cars, especially here when you're in the front because of the dirty air. And then he just made a mistake in T11 and I managed to get it.
You were waiting just behind the whole race. You said it's very difficult to try to overtake, but the pace was unbelievable. Both of you were super far away the rest of the grid.
Yeah, the pace of the car and the team, I think, again, this week they've done an amazing job. I'm really happy and we just keep on working and maybe we find something that can be even better.
Perfect, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miguel Portillo, and that was the conclusion of that race winner, Jan Brzezowski, who was, I love how he was saying, well, we keep working and see if we can find something even better. Imagine, you finish the race as the winner. You are 15 seconds away from the third place, and you're still saying, well, maybe we can get something better. That is the mindset of motorsports. As he was telling us, he overtook Thomas Strauben after a mistake by the Belgian in turn 11. And that was enough to take that first place. But as the Polish driver was recounting, overtaking with his cars, especially with dirty air, is always a big challenge. You sometimes need to force that mistake on your rival. Miguel Portillo from down the pit lane, how did you see that last race of the weekend?
I mean, it was an unbelievable battle. Strauben got it almost everything under control, but I mean, Jan was just behind him, pushing, trying to find the slot, the moment to attack, trying to find the gap. He did not, but at least he was able to push him out and try to make a mistake, and he did it. So that's the race about it. Just stay behind, try to push, stay super close, and wait for the rival. This guy who was on the front made a mistake, and he did it, and was a pity because Straben has done an unbelievable weekend. So finally, victory for Jan. That's the racing. That's how the races are, and so we are doing such a different races. The first, the reverse grid, and also the third one. So we enjoy a lot. We are watching the very best guys of the grid doing his best. So we are learning also a lot, and we are enjoying a lot, Alex.
Exactly, Miguel, and I'll give you again a little bit of homework for next time. I'll give you time to think about it, because next time we are on track, it will be in Navarra, where these guys will have to fight for the championship. So I want you to think, who is your favorite for the championship, who you think can take it. You have time to think, you have a few weeks, so I think it's enough time to think about it. But what I know for sure is that we are going to enjoy a great fight for this ending of the Spanish Winter Championship. That is something that we don't have to think too much about. We've been enjoying races in Jerez, we've been enjoying races here in Portugal, and I think when we go back to Spain, they will be just as fun.
Thank you very much, Alex. We will enjoy for sure the next time, and also congratulations to Campos, but he made it to put the 3 cars on the podium. He's doing that as such a great job. Sometimes we see MP on the front, here Campos, so we are happy also for them. Just to see such a competitive championship, so we also enjoy.
Thank you very much, Miguel Portillo. Thank you very much to the whole team on the ground that makes this possible, because yes, we are talking about Campos Racing as a great team, but I have to say we have a great team as well. So I am very proud of the work that everyone has put this weekend, because we may not be on the track racing with these guys, but we are making sure that everything is as perfect as we can make it. So that was, of course, the last race of the weekend for the E4 Spanish Winter Championship. That was definitely an exciting one. And we saw how these Campos Racing drivers were fighting for the win until the last few laps. And as always, these competitions are always making it impossible to imagine who can win before any given race is starting. We will have a podium celebration to watch, so we will be able to enjoy the 1, 2, 3 from Campos, seeing it on the podium. So stay tuned with us, because there we go. Watching Vivek Kantan already on the podium, watching Thomas Strauben also standing on the 2nd place. And we will see that Polish flag with Jan Pridowski, the much-deserved race winner of the last race of the weekend here in Portimão. We listen to this Polish national anthem. Much deserved success for these drivers, who are definitely enjoying that team 1, 2, 3. And I can guarantee that after this podium is over, there will be a big team celebration, because it is always a great moment when a team manages to do a full lockdown on a podium. Vivek Kantan, who did also a fantastic race, very combative, the North American driver, standing 3rd on the podium, and again showing his mettle as a rookie in this Spanish Winter Championship. Thomas Strauben, he will not be necessarily happy with that 2nd place, or as happy as he could have been if he had won it, but he rounds up a great weekend. Careful with the flag there, but this is probably the happiest moment right now for Jan Pridowski, who has been fantastic on this race. As we said, he was quick, he was patient, he was skilled, and he will bring the title fight to the last round in Navarra. Now, this one is an important picture to remember by, with the 3 teammates. And this one is one to hang on the base. But before that, come on guys, it's time for the sparkling. Oh, that was a win, I think, here by Strauben and Kantan. So the fastest guy on track was the slowest with the bottle. But they all enjoy themselves here, and that is what counts. Is a moment to celebrate. Congratulations to the 3 of them. They have more than earned this result. And we are seeing Thomas Strauben getting that bottle down the racing suit of Vivek Kantan, catching him by surprise. That was definitely a fun moment to watch. As always, teammates, they always have these fun moments between them. And I think we will have even the presence of the rookie podium as well. That would be Vivek Kantan coming back for more, with Ian Eggmans in second place and Christopher Fegari in third place. We see the Lebanese driver standing in the third step of the podium, with Eggmans standing on the second, and of course the rookie winner, Vivek Kantan, once again showing that he is earning himself a very good reputation ahead of the regular season. So trophies go for the 3 best rookies of today, with Fegali in third place. Actually disappointed after this penalty that saw him lose out on that 4th place, with Eggmans getting that 2nd position in the rookie category, also doing a very good job this Spanish Winter Series. And Vivek Kantan, picture for them to remember the day by. But I think these drivers, I cannot say that I can see their faces clearly, but I think they have the face of someone who's already thinking of the next one. And we are thinking of the next one as well, because in just over a couple of weeks, just as we get to the first weekend and the first full week of March, 7th, 8th and 9th of March, we will be back for more, because the E4 Spanish Winter Championship will be back in action in Navarra, where the track action will show us who is the first champion of the 2025 season. That will be the last round of the Spanish Winter Series for the E4, but there will be more racing for the Spanish Formula 4 Championship next spring. So from us, it has been a great pleasure to be accompanying you this weekend. I think we have enjoyed ourselves in Portimão, so we hope that you will be joining us again in Navarra in a couple of weeks' time, and of course at the end of March when we start the regular season, accompanied by the Spanish Winter Series last round for the Euro Cup 3. From us, it's a very warm goodbye, and have a great end to the weekend. See you next time.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something. My focus is A1. Every dog has its day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding. And I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. They ain't coming coming close to me. Flow is on atomic, I'm starting fires through poetry. The heart is out, staying loyal, no falling out. And if you step into the court, be ready, we balling out. Yeah, the coldest of teens, they know what we bring, don't try us. Ain't no in between, we go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We been shooting in the gym, this is target and practice. Yeah. And I'm just getting started, get my feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, all black dress code. Pay me my respect, collecting every debt. Oh, the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to.